Good morning, everybody. It is Friday. I'm calling today Funny Friday because all of the stories and songs today are slightly quirky and a little bit off craziness. So I thought it'd be fun to call it Funny Friday. So let's get started. It's story time, and I'm Sophie, and I am ready to go. So today I am going to read to you from Where the Sidewalk Ends, one of my favorite Shel Silverstein books. And I'm going to start with us. This is a little silly, this one. Me and him and me, we're always together, as you can see. I wish he'd leave so I'd be free. I'm getting a little bit tired of he. And he may be a bit bored with me. On movies and ladies we cannot agree. I like to dance, he loves to ski. He likes the mountains, I love the sea. I like hot chocolate, he wants his tea. I want to sleep, he has to pee. He's meaner and duller and fatter than me. But I guess there's worse things that we could be. Instead of two, we could be three. Me and him and me. Now wait till you see this picture. This is what makes this so interesting. Look at that. How would it be if you were two actually put together like that, huh? Two people actually put together like that. And that is called Us from Shel Silverstein. Well, let's get started, shall we? I have so many fun things to share with you today. So let's say hello. Hello, how are you all? Hello, how are you all? Hello, how are you? I'm just fine today. I'm glad to see you here today. I'm glad to see you here today. I'm glad to see you here today. I'm so glad to see you. Well, what do you say? Since it's a crazy day, let's just shake all over. Shake your head. Let's shake your head. Shake your head from side to side and shake your head from side to side. Shake your head from side to side. I'm so glad to see you. Okay, and let's jump up and down like a kangaroo. Jump up and down like a kangaroo. Jump up and down, nothing else will do. Jump up and down like a kangaroo. I'm so glad to see you. Okay, now how about if we twirl around? Twirl, twirl, twirl with your arms out wide and twirl, twirl, twirl with your arms out wide. Twirl, twirl, twirl with your arms out wide. I'm so glad to see you. Okay, since it's a silly day, a funny Friday, let's make some funny faces, shall we? Like a honey, honey, funny as you can. I'm so glad to see you. Okay, here we go. Let's wave hello, everybody, and get our day started. Hello, how are you all? Hello, how are you all? Hello, how are you? I'm just fine today. Well, I have to tell you why it's such a good Friday and why it's such a great day in general. Because I have some fabulous, really fun books to share with you, and they have come from my dear friends Isabella and Gabriella and Rosanna, and they lent me this whole big stack of books, and I'm so excited to go through them one and two at a time because they're so much fun. And they are the reason that we're having Funny Friday today, because the first story that I read when it came off the pile that they gave me was A Porcupine Named Fluffy. That's right, A Porcupine Named Fluffy. And this is by Helen Lester, illustrated by Lynn Munsinger. Look at that porcupine up there. A Porcupine Named Fluffy. Oh, look, there he is. A Porcupine Named Fluffy by Helen Lester with illustrations by Lynn Munsinger. When Mr. and Mrs. Porcupine had their very first child, they were delighted. Now he needed a name. Look how cute he is sitting in there. Should they call him Spike. No, Spike was too common. Should they call him Lance? No, Lance sounded too fierce. Should they call him Needle Rooser? No, Needle Rooser was too long. Prickles. Pokey. Quillin? Then together they had an idea. Let's call him Fluffy. It's such a pretty name. Fluffy. If you know anything about porcupines, that's not quite what I would call them. But soon there came a time when Fluffy began to doubt that he was Fluffy. He first became suspicious when he backed into the door and stuck fast. That was not a Fluffy thing to do. Oh dear. He even became more convinced when he accidentally slept on his back. Let's try that again, shall we? My goodness. He was even more convinced when he accidentally slept on his back and poked holes in the mattress. That was a very unfluffy thing to do. When he tried to carry an umbrella, he knew the truth without a doubt. Fluffy definitely wasn't. Look what happened in that rain umbrella. So he decided to become fluffier. Clouds are fluffy, he thought. I'll be a cloud. But he couldn't stay up. Pillows are fluffy, he said. I'll be a pillow. But when his mother sat on him, she was not pleased. He tried soaking in a bubble bath for 45 minutes, but he did not become fluffy. He became soggy. He tried whipped cream. He put a little on each quill. It was not easy, and it took him more than half a day. Oh dear, there he is sticking on some, and there he is sticking on more. But his dad did not make Fluffy, but this did not make Fluffy fluffy. They should have named me Gooey, he sighed. He ate a lot of fluffy marshmallows. He rolled in shaving cream and feathers. He even tried to become a bunny. Okay, there he is with the marshmallows. And there he is with the shaving cream and feathers. And there he is, dressed as a bunny. But the truth remained. Fluffy wasn't. It's hard to live up to a name that doesn't seem to suit you, does it? One afternoon, Fluffy set out for a walk, trying to think of ways to become fluffy. Before long, he met a very large rhinoceros. Grrr, said the rhinoceros. I'm going to give you a rough time. Fluffy didn't know what a rough time was, but he didn't like the sound of it at all. What's your name, small prickly thing? Asked the rhinoceros unkindly. Fluffy, said Fluffy. The rhinoceros smiled. He giggled. He laughed out loud, and he rolled on the ground, and he jiggled and slapped his knees, and he roared with laughter. A porcupine named Fluffy, howled the rhinoceros. Fluffy was embarrassed, but he tried to be polite. And what's your name? He inquired. I can't say, giggled the rhinoceros. Hubert? suggested Fluffy. Oh, help, I just can't say it. I'm laughing so hard, said the rhinoceros. Harold? Or maybe Herman? Asked Fluffy. No, gasped the rhinoceros. It's Hippo! Hippo? A rhinoceros named Hippo? Fluffy smiled. He giggled. Then he laughed out loud, and he jiggled and slapped his knees, and he howled with laughter. A rhinoceros named Hippo, Fluffy cried. They both look like they're having a good laugh, don't they? A porcupine named Fluffy, a rhinoceros named Hippo. It was almost more than they could bear. Hippo and Fluffy rolled on the ground, giggling and laughing until tears came to their eyes. At last they lay exhausted on the ground, and from that time on, they were best friends. Here, let me first show you them laughing on the ground. And there they are, becoming best friends. And Fluffy didn't mind being Fluffy anymore, even though he wasn't. And that is the story of a porcupine named Fluffy by Helen Lester, illustrated by Lynn Munsinger. Isn't that cute? Thank you, Lillian and Gabriella. I love this book. I think this one is so, so fun. All right. Well, what do you say we sing a silly song? And this is called, I'm going to wrap myself in paper. I'm going to mail myself to you. It goes like this. I'm going to wrap myself in paper. I'm going to daub myself with glue. Stick some stamps all over my head. I'm going to mail myself to you. I'm going to tie me up in red string. I'm going to tie blue ribbons too. Gonna climb up in my mailbox. I'm gonna mail myself to you. When you see me in your mailbox, cut the string and let me out. Wash the glue off of my fingers. Stick some bubble gum in my mouth. I'm gonna wrap myself in paper. I'm gonna wrap myself with glue. Put some stamps all over my head. I'm gonna mail myself to you. Take me out of my wrapping paper. Wash the stamps off of my head. Pour me full of ice cream sodas. Put me in my warm, warm bed. I'm gonna wrap myself in paper. I'm gonna daub myself with glue. Stick some stamps on top of my head. I'm gonna mail myself to you. Stick some stamps on top of my head. I'm gonna mail myself to you. Would you like to get mailed to somebody? I think that might be kind of fun. You know, I think there actually are people who have mailed themselves. This is a long, long, long time ago, but there are stories about people who have mailed themselves. They're not the best of stories, though. A little scary to mail yourself cross country. Okay, well, I have another fun story for you. Again, thank you to my good friends Lillian and Gabriella. This is called Amelia Badilia. I have loved Amelia Bedelia for a long, long time. And you'll understand why. If you don't know the Amelia Bedelia stories, they're a lot of fun. Amelia Bedelia. This is by Peggy Parish with pictures by Fritz Siebel. Amelia Bedelia. There's Amelia at work. Can you tell what Amelia does? She's a housekeeper. Amelia Bedelia by Peggy Parish with pictures by Fritz Siebel. This is for Debbie, John Greer, Walter, and Michael Dinkins. Amelia Bedelia, your first day of work and I can't be here. But I made a list for you. You do just what the list says, said Mrs. Rogers. Mrs. Rogers got into the car with Mr. Rogers and they drove away. Oh, my, what nice folks. I'm going to like working here, said Amelia Bedelia. Amelia Bedelia went inside. Oh, such a grand house. These must be very rich folks. Oh, but I must get to work. Here I stand just looking, and me with a whole list of things to do. Amelia Bedelia stood there a minute longer. I think I'll make a surprise for them. I'll make lemon meringue pie. I do make good pies. So Amelia Bedelia went into the kitchen and she put a little of this and a pinch of that into a bowl and she mixed and she rolled. Soon her pie was ready to go into the oven. Ah, there, said Amelia Bedelia, that's done. Now, let's see what this list says. Amelia Bedelia read, change the towels in the green bathroom. Amelia Bedelia found the green bathroom. Oh, well, those towels are very nice. Why change them, she thought. Then Amelia Bedelia remembered what Mrs. Rogers had said. She must do just what the list told her. Well, all right, said Amelia Bedelia. Amelia Bedelia got some scissors, and she snipped a little here and a little there, and she changed those towels. There, said Amelia Bedelia, and she looked at her list again. Dust the furniture. Did you ever hear tell of such a silly thing? At my house we undust the furniture, but to each his own. Amelia Bedelia took one last look in the bathroom and she saw a big box with the words dusting powder on it. Well, look at that. A special powder to dust with, exclaimed Amelia Bedelia. So Amelia Bedelia dusted the furniture. Oh, that should be enough. My, how nice it smells. Draw the drapes when the sun comes in, read Amelia Bedelia. She looked up. The sun was coming in. Amelia Bedelia looked at the list again. Draw the drapes. Oh, that's what it says. I'm not much of a hand at drawing, but I'll try. So Amelia Bedelia sat right down and she drew those drapes. Amelia Bedelia marked off about the drapes. Now what? Put the lights out when you finish in the living room. Amelia Bedelia thought about this a minute and she switched off the lights. Then she carefully unscrewed each light bulb. And Amelia Bedelia put the lights out. So those things need to be aired out too, just like pillows and babies. Oh, I do have a lot to learn. It's kind of silly, isn't it? My pie! Exclaimed Amelia Bedelia, and she hurried into the kitchen. Oh, just right, she said, and she took the pie out of the oven and put it on the table to cool. And then she looked at the list. Measure 2 cups of rice. Oh, that's next, said Amelia Bedelia. Amelia Bedelia found 2 cups, and she filled them with rice, and Amelia Bedelia measured that rice. Amelia Bedelia laughed. Oh, these folks do want me to do funny things. And then she poured the rice back into the container. The meat market will deliver steak and chicken. Please trim the fat before you put the steak in the icebox. And please dress the chicken. When the meat arrived, Amelia Bedelia opened the bag. She looked at the steak for a long time. Yes, she said, that will do nicely. Amelia Bedelia got some lace and bits of ribbon, and Amelia Bedelia trimmed that fat before she put the steak in the icebox. Now I must dress the chicken. I wonder if she wants it to be a he chicken or a she chicken, said Amelia Bedelia. Amelia Bedelia went right to work, and soon that chicken was finished. Amelia Bedelia heard the door open. Oh, the folks are back, she said, and she rushed out to meet them. They do look like a fancy couple, don't they?
Amelia Bedelia, what are the light bulbs doing outside?
Asked Mr. Rogers. The list said just put the lights out, said Amelia Bedelia. I didn't say to bring them back in. Oh, I do hope they didn't get aired too long.
Amelia Bedelia, the sun will fade the furniture. I asked you to draw the drapes, said Mrs. Rogers.
I did. See, said Amelia Bedelia, and she held up her picture. Then Mrs. Rogers saw the furniture. The furniture, she cried. Did I dust it well enough? Asked Amelia Bedelia. That's such nice dusting powder. Mr. Rogers went to wash his hands.
I say, he called, these are unusual towels.
Mrs. Rogers dashed into the bathroom. Oh, my best towels, she said. Well, didn't I change them enough? Asked Amelia Bedelia. Mrs. Rogers went into the kitchen. Oh, I'll cook dinner. Where's the rice I asked you to measure? Oh, I put it back into the container, but I remember it measured 4.5 inches, said Amelia Bedelia. Was the meat delivered? Asked Mrs. Rogers. Oh, yes, said Amelia Bedelia. I trimmed the fat just like you said. It does look nice. Mrs. Rogers rushed to the icebox and she opened it. Oh, lace, ribbons, oh dear, said Mrs. Rogers. The chicken? You dressed the chicken? Asked Mrs. Rogers. Oh, yes, and I found the nicest box to put him in, said Amelia Bedelia. Box? Exclaimed Mrs. Rogers. Mrs. Rogers hurried over to the box and she lifted the lid, and there lay the chicken. And he was dressed as he could be. Look at that. He's wearing a little pair of pants and socks. Mrs. Rogers was angry. She was very, very angry. She opened her mouth. Mrs. Rogers meant to tell Amelia Bedelia she was fired. But before she could get the words out, Mr. Rogers put something into her mouth. It was so good that Mrs. Rogers forgot about being angry. Lemon meringue pie, she exclaimed. I made it as a surprise for you, said Amelia Bedelia happily. So right then and there, Mr. and Mrs. Rogers decided that Amelia Bedelia must stay. And so she did. Mrs. Rogers learned to say, undust the furniture, unlight the lights, close the drapes, and things like that. Mr. Rogers didn't care if Amelia Bedelia trimmed all of his steaks with lace. All he cared about was having her there to make lemon meringue pie. There she is, And that's the story of Amelia Bedelia by Peggy Parish with pictures by Fritz Siebel. See why that works for Funny Friday? Can you believe that she got all those things messed up like that? But when you looked at the words, that's what they said, and that's what she did. So here's a little song for you if you're ever feeling blue. It's called Hey Dum Diddly Dum. It goes like this. Hey dum diddly dum, hey dum diddly dum, hey dum diddly hey dum diddly hey dum diddly dum. Come on, sing along, it's the world's most singable song. It's got a hey and a hum and a diddly dum, and I hope you'll sing along. Hey dum diddly dum, hey dum diddly dum, hey dum diddly hey dum diddly hey dum diddly dum. It's a kind of help along song. It can help you when things they go wrong. When you're feeling sad or your day's gone bad, sing hey dum diddly dum. Hey dum diddly dum, hey dum diddly dum, hey dum diddly hey dum diddly hey dum diddly dum. You want to sing with me? Hey dum diddly dum, hey dum diddly dum, hey dum diddly hey dum diddly hey dum diddly dum. I said hey dum diddly hey dum diddly hey dum diddly dum. It's a fun song, isn't it? When you're feeling blue, sing a little hey dum diddly doo. Okay, last story for this Funny Friday. This is from When We Were Very Young by A.A. Milne, with decorations by Ernest H. Shepard. It is called Bad Sir Brian Botany. Let me show you a picture of bad Sir Brian Botany. Can you see him there? He's got his armor and his battle axe.
Sir Brian had a battle axe with a great big knobs on. He went among the villagers and bipped them on the head. On Wednesday and on Saturday, but mostly on the latter day, he called at all the cottages, and this is what he said. I am Sir Brian, Tingling. I am Sir Brian, Rat-tat. I am Sir Brian, as bold as a lion. Take that, and that, and that. Sir Brian had a pair of boots with great big spurs on, a fighting pair of which he was particularly fond. On Tuesday and on Friday, just to make the streets look tidy, he collected the passing villagers and kicked them in the pond. I am Sir Brian, Kersplash. I am Sir Brian, Kersplunch. I am Sir Brian, as bold as a lion. Is anyone else for a wash? Sir Brian woke up one morning, and he couldn't find his battle axe. He walked into the village in his second pair of boots. He had gone 100 paces when the street was full of faces, and the villagers were round him with ironical salutes. There he is, he's waking up in bed. You are Sir Brian, indeed. You are Sir Brian, dear, dear. You are Sir Brian, as bold as a lion. Delighted to meet you here. Sir Brian went on a journey, and he found a lot of duckweed. They pulled him out and dried him, and they bipped him on the head. They took him by the breeches, and they hurled him into ditches, and they pushed him under waterfalls, and this is what they said. You are Sir Brian, don't laugh. You are Sir Brian, don't cry. You are Sir Brian, as bold as a lion. Sir Brian the lion, goodbye. Uh-oh, look what they did. They pushed him into the water. I think they got a little fed up with Sir Brian. Sir Brian struggled home again and chopped up his battle-axe. Sir Brian took his fighting boots and threw them in the fire. He is quite a different person now. He hasn't got his spurs on, and he goes about the village as Botany, Esquire. I am Sir Brian. Oh, no, I am Sir Brian. Who's he? I haven't got a title. I'm Botany, plain Mr. Botany, B. And there he is. And that brings us to the end of story time, everybody. But I will be back next week, and I hope you have a wonderful weekend. But until then, let's say goodbye. Goodbye, Shelby. Goodbye, Allie. Goodbye, Ollie. I'll see you all next time. Goodbye, Delilah. Goodbye, JC. Goodbye, Eli. I'll see you all next time. Goodbye, Maya. Goodbye, Charlotte. Goodbye, Isabella. I'll see you all next time. Goodbye, Lillian. Goodbye, Gabriella. Goodbye, Madeline. I'll see you all next time. Goodbye, Christopher. Goodbye, Serena. Goodbye, Lily. I'll see you all next time. Goodbye, Bella. Goodbye, Francine. Goodbye, Frangelica. I'll see you all next time. Well, I hope you guys have a funny Friday. I hope it's full of fun surprises. And in the meantime, let's give a high five. And there's one for you. And if you want one, let's have a big hug to last us for the weekend. So take one hand and put it on shoulder. Take your other hand, put it on the other shoulder, and squeeze really, really tight. And there you have it. I'll see you on Monday, everybody. Have a great weekend. Bye-bye.